why today, July 4th, 2076, 300 years after our great nation began, we gather together to honor the completion of Vault 76.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the 10 biggest differences between Fallout 76 at launch and its state in 2024.
War never changes.
Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Technical stability. It's almost hard to believe that Fallout 76 launched way back in 2018, and somehow, for some otherworldly reason, Bethesda continued supporting the game for the thousands of players who stuck with it. So, has the game become more technically sound than it was back then? Well, for the most part, yeah. Fallout 76 is still prone to crashing every once in a while, but you aren't seeing server-wide crashes constantly or parts of the world outright failing to load in. As for the frame rate, the game is much more stable than it used to be. Frame rates could be a bit more consistent on PC, but on console, you can expect a smooth 60 frames per second on PlayStation 5, and a little bit less than that on Series XS.
If you're looking for work, talk to Lane. He'll have something for you to do.
Onboarding.
We stand together, knowing that here in Vault 76, our future begins.
One of Fallout 76's greatest strengths right now is how it onboards new players. This is something many live service games struggle with as they keep pumping out more and more updates, expansions, and the like. But Fallout 76 caters to new players in a few different ways. Upon exiting the vault, you will be asked if you want to build your character as you level up, or if you would like to jump to level 20 with one of several different special card loadouts tacked onto your character. Even if you choose the former, you'll get to choose from solid special cards as you level up, so don't expect too big of a slog when you're starting fresh.
Goodbye! Aloha! Ciao!
Donation boxes.
First round's on me. Name's Duchess. There's something I could do for you.
In case you need a little bit of extra help in finding better equipment or additional supplies like food, stim packs, and crafting materials, there is a new feature that wasn't here at launch. Scattered across the world are donation boxes. These boxes contain items left behind by other players who may not have had use for them or had an excess amount of particular items. Before this, players would just drop items randomly in the world, and they would be stored in generic paper brown bags. The brown bags are still there, mind you. But with this method, it's now easier for folks to lessen their load while helping others in more concentrated spots without hoping some rando comes along.
They did teach you all how to build from schematics up in that vault of yours, didn't they?
Enemy variety. Back in the first year or so after launch, Fallout 76 was not too exciting when it came to enemy variety. You mostly fought ghouls, scorched ghouls, scorched feral ghouls, and, well, just anything ghoul. That was pretty much it. There were some other enemies like rad roaches and mutants and rogue robots here and there. Mole miners and mole rats were in a few areas as well, and deathclaws came around in high-level areas. Thankfully, though, combat is spiced up a bit with even more enemies, both new and older from previous Fallout games. But the biggest change is in the legendary enemies. Not only do they spawn in more reasonable areas, they also drop items equal to their level. In the game's first year, it was common to find enemies 10 levels above you, barely make it out of fights alive, and only get a Mirelurk meat or a couple of crafting materials out of the fight. It wasn't worth it back then. Fast travel. One of the most annoying aspects of Fallout 76 at launch was how it handled fast travel. This may sound hard to believe, but fast travel was made to be just as annoying as manually getting from one area of the world to the other. In order to access fast travel, you would have to save up on caps, as the distance between you and where you wanted to go would determine how expensive fast travel would be. If you strayed too far from your camp and were on the verge of death but could not afford fast travel, this system would straight up kill some people's desire to keep playing. Thankfully, that is no longer an issue, for the most part. Fallout 76 does allow you to fast travel for free within a certain radius, but any further and you'll have to pony up roughly 40 to 50 caps. It all depends on where you're fast traveling from. But hey, it's not as expensive as it used to be. Expeditions.
Brotherhood of Steel are the guardians of human civilization.
Another painful part of Fallout 76 in its original state was its grind for materials and currency. In order to conduct an expedition, you needed to acquire enough Ultra Cells to power up a Vertibird. Not only that, but all players needed to be present at the Vertibird in order to travel together. But after the Once in a Blue Moon update in 2023, that is no longer the case. Expeditions no longer require Ultra Cells to initiate, and your friends can join you mid-expedition in case you need some help at the last minute or someone is running late to game night.
This is a choice that can never be undone.
Combat balance. As we mentioned earlier, combat used to be a bit of a problem with legendary enemies. You could be fighting through a horde of ghouls at level 12 or 13 only to be ambushed by another ghoul several levels above you. Well, in addition to adjustments in enemy variety and level scaling, weapons and weapon mods have also seen some tweaks in their stats, while stats revolving around science actually affect energy weapons, as they should have from the beginning. In other words, the combat of Fallout 76 now feels much more in line with the previous games from Bethesda. Well, if we're not looking at that is. Public events.
As luck would have it, our heroes are headed there right now.
In order to keep Fallout 76 exciting for players, Bethesda incorporated the concept of public events. Every 20 minutes, one of these events would spawn in the server. Unfortunately, at launch, the pool of rotating events was very, very small. We could only spend so long fighting hordes while defending a factory before it starts to get really boring. But now, you can take part in a moonshine jamboree, cryptid hunting, and even play some Nuka World Carnival games. The world feels much more alive now, and the seasonal events really add to the normal rotation when those roll around.
Another beautiful morning in Nuka Town, USA. The sun is blazing in the sky, and the park is bustling with activity.
Massive expansions.
Did you hear that noise?
You shouldn't have messed with the Russos!
Since 2018, Fallout 76 has introduced a variety of game modes to try and give players other things to do besides go exploring the mountains and mines. Nuclear Winter was fun, for about 10 minutes, but since then we've seen a few big expansions get added in. Steel Dawn and Steel Rain introduced a whole new questline involving the Brotherhood of Steel. Then, in 2022, we saw the return of The Pit, which was originally an expansion for Fallout 3. Then, in late 2023, we got the first part of an expedition that took us to Atlantic City, New Jersey. The second half launched in late March 2024. But do you want to know what the biggest expansion in Fallout 76 really is?
Entertainment, comfort, adventure. Atlantic City has it all.
Proper NPCs!
Those young ladies down there, they seem exceedingly alive.
The Wastelanders expansion filled in the biggest void Fallout 76 left open, the NPCs. Sure, there were some NPCs at launch, but those were primarily stores and facilities run by some Mr. Handies. Other than that, there weren't really any characters to move the story along outside of holotapes. But over the years, quest lines have been heavily tweaked to incorporate more and more NPCs in order to properly tell the game's story. Basically, we finally have the Fallout experience that we should have gotten in 2018, and it's loaded up with unique stories, characters, and of course, moral dilemmas.
At first, I was planning to just do the training and move on, but honestly, I kind of like it here. I really enjoy meeting all the people that pass through and hearing their stories.
Have you been heading back down the country roads of Fallout 76? We've definitely been hearing her voice in the morning hour again, but let us know down in the comments and be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.